Welcome to the deep dive, where we cut through the noise to get you truly well informed, fast. Our bodies are incredibly sophisticated, but there's a catch. They can't make everything they need to run optimally. We rely on certain essential nutrients, these vital building blocks we must get from our diet. So I have to ask you, what if one of these crucial components, something your body desperately needs, is consistently missing from your diet, and you don't even realize the profound impact it's having? Today, we're taking a deep dive into omega-3. It's an essential fat, critical for, well, countless bodily processes, yet our modern diets are seeing a pretty concerning decline in its consumption. Our mission today is to unpack what happens when your omega-3 levels are low, distinguish between the different types and their unique roles, pinpoint the very best dietary sources, and clarify how much you actually need to thrive.
It really is a topic of immense significance. I mean, far beyond what many people might imagine. A deficiency in just one nutrient, like omega-3, can create this huge ripple effect, touching almost every system in your body, from your brain to your skin. Sometimes in very subtle ways, understanding this can be a real game changer for your health, truly.
You're absolutely right. Let's start by painting a picture of what happens when our bodies are starved of this essential fat. When omega-3 levels dip too low, the consequences can be incredibly varied and, yeah, often surprising. On the mental and nervous system front, we often see things like attention disorders, maybe difficulties with focus, symptoms that mimic ADHD, and even an increased vulnerability to depression. We also hear a lot about brain fog and memory problems. What's the fundamental connection here?
That's a vital starting point. Well, what's fascinating is that a specific subtype of omega-3 DHA is a primary building block for myelin. You can think of myelin as the protective insulation around your brain's nerve fibers, kind of like the coating on an electrical wire. This insulation is absolutely crucial because it lets electrical impulses in your brain travel at lightning speed, ensuring efficient communication between neurons. Without enough DHA, this myelin, it can be compromised.
So if that myelin insulation starts to thin or degrade because we're not getting enough omega-3, it's like our brain's wiring is becoming faulty, that would directly lead to those concentration issues and memory problems you mentioned.
Right.
But how does this structural compromise then fuel brain inflammation? And how does that cascade into mood alterations and other cognitive challenges?
That's a brilliant connection, yeah. When your myelin is damaged or just insufficient, your neurons become more vulnerable, less efficient. This vulnerability triggers a kind of low-grade inflammatory response within the brain, almost like an internal alarm system just constantly going off. And chronic subtle inflammation in the brain directly impacts the pathways of critical neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are key for regulating mood. So yes, the structural issue leads to inflammation, which then actively alters mood, disrupts cognitive function, makes it harder to maintain focus. And it's not just internal. Even your vision can suffer. Conditions like macular degeneration, which is the leading cause of vision loss, show strong associations with insufficient omega-3s.
That makes perfect sense. It really is a domino effect. And the impact doesn't stop at your mind either. Your entire cardiovascular system feels it too. We're talking about an increased general cardiovascular risk, a higher tendency for hypertensive disease, that's chronic high blood pressure and arrhythmias, which are disruptions to your heart's normal steady rhythm. In some cases, people might even experience angina pectoris or chest pain. And for many people, some of the most visible signs of low omega-3 might actually show up on your skin and hair. We're talking about a whole range of dermatological symptoms: hair loss, various forms of dermatitis, persistently dry or flaky skin, even stubborn dandruff. And it can also increase your susceptibility to skin allergies.
Exactly. And this connects right back to the inflammation we were just discussing. Good omega-3 levels are foundational for reducing systemic inflammation. When inflammation runs high in areas like the scalp, for instance, it speeds up skin cell turnover, leading to faster skin flaking, which is dandruff. It also damages hair follicles, contributing to hair loss. So if you're dealing with persistent skin dryness, eczema, or perhaps hair thinning, addressing your omega-3 intake isn't just about surface treatment. It's about tackling those underlying inflammatory drivers.
So we're seeing its influence touching brain, heart, skin, and the list just keeps going, doesn't it? Low omega-3 levels have even been associated with things like increased sterility, spontaneous abortions, and the chronic inflammatory pain of diseases like arthritis. It truly is widespread. Therefore, we're not just talking about, popping an omega-3 supplement. The real game changer seems to lie in achieving a crucial balance. Our bodies need various types of fatty acids, but there's this critical ratio we often get wrong, especially today. The typical Western diet means we consume significantly more omega-6 than omega-3. In fact, on average, it's often 12 to 25 times more omega-6. That's huge.
And this imbalance raises a really profound question. Why does this disproportionate ratio matter so much? Well, research shows that an elevated, sustained consumption of omega-6 can be serious enough to actually predict premature death and accelerated cognitive decline. The fundamental problem lies in how excess omega-6 affects your red blood cells. It damages them, oxidizes them, making them less efficient at distributing oxygen throughout the body. Imagine your body's oxygen delivery system running on, like tired, damaged trucks. Everything slows down and suffers. This impacts everything from your energy levels to the vital function of your organs.
It's quite shocking when you think about it that way, isn't it? It truly makes you pause and consider the deep roots of our modern health challenges. In fact, if we look back, say, 15,000 years, there's a fascinating historical snapshot. Our Homo sapiens ancestors consumed vastly more omega-3 and far less omega-6 than we do now. Some incredible hypotheses even link this ancient dietary difference to the possibility that they might have had larger brains than we do today. It really begs the question, what seemingly small dietary shifts today might be shaping our future health in ways we haven't fully grasped yet?
The historical context is so crucial because it highlights just how far we've drifted. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this chronic excess of omega-6 combined with a deficit of omega-3 creates this pervasive, low-grade, pro-inflammatory environment throughout our bodies. And this heightened systemic inflammation isn't just uncomfortable, it actively accelerates cellular aging. It increases damage across all our tissues and organs. It's like a silent, constant wear and tear that really impacts our long-term health and vitality.
So what's the target here? What should we actually aim for? Well, the calculated ideal proportion of omega-6 to omega-3 would be around 4.1, and some functional specialists even suggest aiming for an even more balanced 1.1 ratio. So the clear takeaway for you, our listener, is that we generally need to significantly increase our omega-3 intake and consciously decrease our omega-6 consumption. That seems key. Now, let's move beyond just the general umbrella of omega-3s, because this is where the nuances truly emerge. It turns out not all omega-3s are created equal, not at all. They possess distinct functions, unique benefits, making it really crucial to understand exactly which kind you're getting and why. Let's start with DHA, or docosahexaenoic acid. This particular omega-3 is, well, it's a superstar for your brain, heart, and eyes. We mentioned its crucial role in forming myelin, that vital insulation around your neurons. Without enough DHA, your cognitive performance, concentration, even your long-term protection against conditions like dementia can be compromised. What's more, studies have even shown that DHA supplementation can help reduce things like aggression and high stress levels. And here's a crucial detail, especially for plant-based eaters. You could eat all the chia seeds in the world and you still wouldn't be getting this direct form of omega-3. That's important. Then we have EPA, or eicosapentaenoic acid. While it offers benefits for vision and heart health, its particular strength really lies in combating inflammation. While it does have some minor activity in the brain, its concentrations there are significantly lower than DHA, like 250, 300 times lower. Its real power is its systemic anti-inflammatory effect. Can you maybe elaborate on why reducing inflammation is so central to overall health and longevity?
Absolutely. Think of inflammation as a necessary immune response. But when it becomes chronic and uncontrolled, it's incredibly destructive. EPA helps regulate and dampen these inflammatory pathways. By reducing this systemic fire, we're not just alleviating symptoms, we're actually reducing cellular damage, slowing down the aging process at a fundamental level, and effectively helping our bodies function more efficiently and resiliently. This translates directly to a better quality of life and potentially a longer, healthier lifespan.
It's powerful stuff. And interestingly, studies indicate that both DHA and EPA, especially when used at higher doses, have shown some pretty impressive results in resolving attention deficit issues and even improving significant psychiatric conditions. Finally, we have ALA, or alpha-linolenic acid. This one is primarily beneficial for cardiovascular health. While it does have some anti-inflammatory and brain effects, they are much more minor compared to the direct power of DHA and EPA. However, ALA is very effective in modifying blood cholesterol patterns and reducing overall cardiovascular risk, which is certainly an important benefit in itself.
Yeah, and this is a critical point, especially for those who rely on plant-based diets. Many nutrition specialists frequently claim, that ALA can be fully converted by the body into the more potent omega-3s like EPA and DHA. However, this information is largely mistaken. Relying solely on ALA for all your omega-3 needs, can leave you deficient in those crucial EPA and DHA forms.
So what does this all mean for us then? The conversion rate of ALA to DHA and EPA in the human body is actually very small. often less than 2%. And here's another layer. This conversion can be even lower for individuals of European or Native American descent compared to those of, say, Indian or African descent. This truly is a critical distinction if you're trying to get all your omega-3s from plant sources alone. Really key. Okay, so given all this, the natural next question is, where do we find these crucial fats in our diet? For ALA, you'll find it mainly in certain seeds and nuts, specifically chia, flax, and walnuts. But there's an important caveat. If you're consuming these in oil form, like flaxseed oil, there's a real problem with rapid oxidation. These oils are highly sensitive to light and oxygen, which can quickly degrade their beneficial properties. So for maximum benefit, you either need carefully packaged oils protected from light, or even better, consume ground seeds quickly after milling them. Right. Now, when it comes to EPA and DHA, these are primarily derived from marine sources. Think fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, also fish oil supplements, and algae, which, while difficult for humans to extract directly, is the foundational source for many vegetarian and vegan supplements. You can also find them in eggs, though the omega-3 content varies a lot based on the hen's diet. For example, flax-fed hens yield much more omega-3 rich eggs. And certain meats and organs, especially from free-range, pasture-fed animals, can also contribute a small amount. Keep in mind, though, fish oil supplements can also be prone to oxidation, so quality and freshness really matter there too. But if you're looking for the absolute best, most pristine source of omega-3, there's one that truly stands out above the rest: krill. Krill are these tiny crustaceans, kind of the unassuming heroes at the very base of the marine food chain, feeding on phytoplankton. And they are incredibly rich in both EPA and DHA.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating about krill is its additional nutrient payload. It's packed with something called phosphatidylcholine. This is a vital fat that acts like a structural scaffold for all your cell membranes, particularly crucial for brain and nerve function. It's really important stuff. It also provides the raw materials for acetylcholine, a critical neurotransmitter that's like your brain's internal messenger for focus, learning, and memory. Very key. And don't forget astaxanthin. That's a powerful antioxidant. The compound that gives salmon its vibrant reddish hue, and it's currently being studied intensely for its potent anti-inflammatory benefits. So all these benefits, combined with the fact that krill is sustainably abundant in southern seas, and crucially, because it's so low on the food chain, it avoids the heavy metal and toxin concerns sometimes associated with larger, longer-lived fish. That makes it a truly superior option in many ways.
So, with all this incredible insight, the natural question becomes, how much omega-3 do we actually need? You might expect a simple, universal answer, right? But this is where the puzzle gets even more intricate, because the truth is, not everyone absorbs omega-3 in the same way. Expert, what factors can influence how well our bodies process these crucial fats?
That's a critical point for personalization, absolutely. Since omega-3s are fats, their absorption is directly tied to our fat digestion. So issues with producing enough bile salts or maybe a less than optimal gut bacterial flora, even underlying digestive conditions, all these can significantly affect how well you break down and absorb these beneficial fats. So yeah, two people eating the exact same amount of omega-3 might not actually be getting the same benefit internally.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so on the flip side, can we actually reduce our need for omega-3 supplementation through a really well-balanced diet that provides other supportive nutrients? What does that look like on a plate?
Absolutely. While omega-3s are essential, a holistic diet can certainly optimize your overall fatty acid profile and support your body. A diet rich in other beneficial omega types like 5, 7, 9, and 11, along with specific fats like gamma-linolenic acid and conjugated linoleic acid. And key minerals such as magnesium and zinc can collectively support your body's fat metabolism and sort of reduce the pressure on omega-3 alone. In terms of food, think pasture-fed meats and organs like liver, wild fatty fish, generous use of olive oil, avocados, coconut, algae sources like spirulina or phytoplankton, ground seeds, shellfish, a bounty of leafy greens, and importantly, a focus on gut health with probiotics. It's about the whole picture.
Okay, so bringing it all together then, for general recommendations, the very first step is always to reduce your omega-6 intake as much as possible. Really focus on cutting out those highly processed vegetable oils and packaged foods. Then aim for at least 1-2 grams daily of combined EPA and DHA. The ultimate goal is to get closer to that 4.1 omega-6 to omega-3 ratio we talked about earlier, or maybe even more balanced if you can manage it. And revisiting our earlier point for vegetarians and vegans, given those very low ALA conversion rates, well, if you're avoiding animal products, the recommended strategy for getting your EPA and DHA is definitely an algae-derived omega-3 supplement. Combine that with flax oil or ground seeds for your ALA. So what does this all mean for most of us? The reality is, for most people whose diets aren't perfectly balanced, and let's face it, that's many of us, omega-3 is probably one of the most beneficial supplements you can take to fill that crucial nutritional gap. There are even specific omega-3 formulations tailored for specific needs like pregnancy and lactation.
Exactly. And that's why we often refer to omega-3, especially from good sources like krill, algae, or thoroughly heavy metal tested fish oil, as a truly noble supplement. It's not just safe for most people, but its fundamental benefits for reducing cellular damage and inflammation throughout our bodies are immense. It contributes significantly to overall well-being and really paves the way for a healthier future.
This deep dive has truly illuminated how profoundly important omega-3 is. It touches everything from the intricate wiring of your brain and your mood to the rhythm of your heart, the health of your skin, and the very foundation of your cellular integrity. We've seen the critical balance needed with omega-6 and how the distinct roles of DHA, EPA, and ALA really matter. It emphasizes that quality and type are just as important as quantity.
Making informed choices about your omega-3 sources is absolutely crucial. As we've discussed, krill and algae really stand out as excellent pure options due to their unique nutrient profiles and their position low on the food chain. And of course, a properly sourced fish oil that has been rigorously tested for heavy metals remains a strong choice too. Understanding these nuances empowers you to truly support your body's foundational needs.
This deep dive really shows us how deeply connected our daily diet is to every single part of our being, often in ways we don't fully appreciate until something is missing. So, what stands out to you from today's conversation? Take a moment to consider that profound connection between something as seemingly small as a fat molecule and the vast, intricate network of your brain and body. What overlooked essential might you be missing for your optimal health?